Welcome to IT Playground Podcast, where technology meets innovation. Join us as we explore the latest trends, insights, and expert opinions on all things IT. Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a country that, just recently, was grappling with daily power cuts, plunging into darkness multiple times a day, now emerging as a powerhouse of digital infrastructure. We're talking billions of dollars being poured into its data future. How do you go from constant darkness to a digital boom that's capturing global attention? That's the incredible story we're diving into today. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into the fascinating transformation of South Africa's digital landscape. Specifically, we'll examine its rapidly expanding data center market and how it's navigating its energy challenges. We've synthesized insights from recent market reports and comprehensive research, offering you a shortcut, really, to understanding this pivotal moment.
Yeah, and what's truly insightful here is how South Africa is kind of rewriting the playbook. It's proving that foundational challenges like, energy instability can actually become catalysts for innovation, driving a unique digital transformation.
So it's not just copying others, it's adapting.
Exactly. It's a strategic pivot, showing how a nation can leverage digital infrastructure to build a more resilient future.
Okay, let's get into the numbers then. South Africa's data center market is experiencing what you can only call explosive growth. Valued at $2.16 billion in 2024, projections show it soaring to $3.4 billion by 2030. That's a compound annual growth rate of 7.85%.
Which is pretty robust.
It is. And we're talking about roughly $1.5 billion in new investments expected by 2026 alone. That's set to add about, 180 megawatts of capacity?
That's right, 180 milliW. It's a huge commitment. And it's driven by several things happening at once. You've got the huge uptake of cloud computing, obviously. Then there's the surge in IoT and big data.
Right, I saw something like 60% of businesses there are already using big data services.
Yeah, generating massive amounts of information. And then you layer on the government's strategic push for a data-intensive economy. It all just creates this massive need to store and process data.
Which directly fuels the need for these data centers. Makes sense. And if you're wondering where all this digital action is happening, it seems Johannesburg is the place it's set to dominate, right? Poised to grab close to 85% of the total projected power capacity for new data centers.
Absolutely. By the end of 2024, it already had 15 data centers with, I think, more than 6 others being built.
Wow. It's really becoming the Silicon Valley of data centers for the continent.
It really is, and it's not by chance. It optimizes connectivity, keeps data close to businesses headquartered there. Plus, you've got the big global players coming in, Google, Microsoft. They bring capital, yes, but they also raise the standards. They need those higher tier facilities.
Okay, now for what I think is the real plot twist. The power situation. South Africa was known for power instability. Load shedding was, a daily reality in 2023. But get this. As of December 31st in 2024, the country hit 281 consecutive days without load shedding.
It's an incredible turnaround.
Monumental. Nearly a whole year of stability. The average energy availability from Eskom, the utility, even jumped 5% and 60% in 2024.
Which raises a key question, right? How does this impact the data centers? Historically, that instability was a huge roadblock. But now, with the grid more stable, the focus is shifting. It's less about just surviving outages with generators.
And more about long-term solutions.
Exactly. Long-term, cost-effective, and crucially sustainable power. It's moving from just backup plans to sustainability as a core strategy.
Which explains the huge push towards renewables we're seeing. Companies like Terraco are really leading that charge, starting construction on that massive 120 milliW solar plant in the Free State.
Yeah, slated to power their data centers nationwide by 2026. That's a big deal.
And it's not just them. South Africa added 1.1 gigawatts of solar in 2024 alone. And the forecasts are even higher for 2025 and 2026, like 2.5 to 4 gigawatts more each year. Mostly private investment, too.
Right, that private investment piece is key.
It really does feel like solar panels are the new national flower.
Well, maybe symbolically, but seriously, it's more than just looking green. It's about de-risking the digital economy. Energy shifts from being a major problem to a potential advantage, especially for attracting those global hyperscalers who need both stability and sustainability.
So they're using private power deals, PPAs, and building their own generation.
Precisely. To get more control over cost and reliability, reduce dependence on the grid. Even though coal is still, 73% of the mix overall for the country's 55,000 million capacity, this private action is shaping a greener future for the digital side.
And this whole digital boom is also tightly linked to the IT and telecom sector, isn't it?
Yeah.
That sector is growing fast. Internet penetration hit almost 75% in 2024, and mobile connections are nearly 200% of the population.
Which means lots of people have multiple devices, 116 million mobile subscriptions.
Wow.
And every tap, swipe, stream on those devices generates data, masses of it, all needing storage, processing, low latency access. That directly feeds data center demand.
And 5G is expanding too, right? Up to nearly 47% coverage in 2024.
Yeah, which means even higher data speeds, lower latency needs, pushing demand for more advanced infrastructure, like edge computing.
And here's that virtuous cycle I mentioned earlier. The improved energy situation actually helped the telecoms operators. With less load shedding, they spent way less on backup generators and batteries in 2024.
Right, a direct cost saving.
So that freed up money can go back into building out their networks. 4G, 5G, fiber to the home almost doubled in 2024.
And better networks mean more data use, which means
More demand for data centers. It feeds itself.
It absolutely does. It shows how fixing one infrastructure piece, energy, lifts others like telecoms. Telecom revenue jumped nearly 12% to over 230 billion rands in 2024. That's the direct impact a stable grid means: more investment, better services, more money flowing through the whole digital chain.
Government policies are playing a big part too, I gather. That national policy on data and cloud from mid-2024.
That aims to boost data privacy and push for data sovereignty, keeping South African data local.
Sort of like GDPR, but their version is POPI, the Protection of Personal Information Act.
Exactly. POPR strictly regulates how personal data is handled, often requiring it to stay within the country. Plus, the Cybercrimes Act adds more security layers.
So this focus on keeping data local actually encourages investment in local data centers.
Definitely. It creates a kind of captive market, and it forces global companies who want to operate there to build locally to comply.
Like Microsoft's $300 million investment in cloud and AI infrastructure by late 2027.
Precisely, or Google launching its Johannesburg cloud region in early 2024. Although for international businesses, it does add complexity. They have to adapt their data setups, maybe invest significantly just to meet those rules.
Looking ahead then, what are the big trends? You mentioned edge computing.
Yeah, edge is huge, bringing processing closer to the data source, vital for 5G and IoT.
And AI. Sounds like that's a big driver too.
Massive. The demand for AI and machine learning means data centers need a serious upgrade. They need to be AI ready.
Which means handling way more power and needing better cooling.
You got it. Much higher power densities, advanced cooling, like liquid cooling, for all that heat from AI chips.
So AI needs its own extra strength energy drink, basically.
And the infrastructure to handle it. It's a major upgrade cycle. A lot of older facilities just aren't built for this, and it's expensive. A single megawatt of data center capacity can cost $10 million, maybe even $15 million per MW in some places.
So partnerships and big strategic investments are crucial.
Absolutely key. It favors the well-funded players, both local and international, and most new builds are targeting Tier 3 certification for high reliability.
You've got players like Terraco, Digital Parks Africa, Africa Data Centers, competing with giants like Equinix and Vantage.
It's dynamic. Terraco alone is launching 4 new centers by 2026, investing nearly $900 million. They're focusing on efficiency, too, with advanced cooling.
And sustainability seems to be a real competitive edge now.
Increasingly so. It's not just capacity. Operators showing strong green credentials, renewables, low PUE scores.
PUE, that's power usage effectiveness, right?
Yeah.
Lower is better.
Correct. Lower PUE means higher efficiency. That attracts the big clients, driven by global ESG goals and, frankly, the need to manage high electricity costs. So sustainability is becoming table stakes. Though there are still some regulatory gaps, like specific cloud policies for the finance sector, which creates a bit of uncertainty there.
Got it. So while it's mostly positive, some policy details still need ironing out for specific sectors.
Right. And strategic alliances are mixing local knowledge with global investment power seems to be the winning formula.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for our listeners? South Africa's journey from major power issues to this digital boom, it's really a lesson in resilience, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Resilience, strategic investment, policy working with the private sector.
Yeah.
It shows how you can turn challenges into catalysts.
And it's not just about building data centers. It's about enabling the future, right?
Yep.
Smart cities, better healthcare, AI innovation.
Exactly. It's the foundational layer for so much potential progress and digital inclusion. It really demonstrates how tech, policy, and investment can drive real change.
So as you, our listener, think about this incredible transformation in South Africa, maybe ask yourself, What role could you play in driving similar positive shifts? What opportunities does this kind of foundational digital growth unlock for innovation in your own field or even just in your own thinking? Definitely something to ponder. Thanks for tuning in to IT Playground Podcast. Join us next time for more tech talk, insights, and innovation. Don't forget to subscribe.